She's on the ground. So there's...
Who is it?
My mom!
This man has just been informed that his wife was murdered, but he could never imagine who the murderer was.
What happened? Your wife and daughter got into an argument. She's going to jail forever. Your wife's dead. I was too.
On March 3rd, 2020, Ohio police responded to a 911 call at an Akron address, discovering Brenda Powell in the kitchen with 30 stab wounds in her neck. Her daughter, Sydney, was present and informed the police that it was a home invasion that escalated into a brutal murder. The scream, along with the call to the location, provided the police with enough probable cause to forcibly enter the home. This is what awaited him when he walked inside.
Akron Police! Akron Police!
Someone broke into that window. She's on the ground.
Where's your mom at? Okay, stay right here.
No, there's so much blood. No, please.
Man!
She's
Never.
in
Take
the
her.
corner now. No.
Stop! Hold on, we gotta figure out what's going on. Can you sit down?
R9, get that 32 rolling here quick. We got a female down, blood all over the place. Sergeant Smart, you just got a crime scene. Take her outside.
You got
There's blood all over. I don't even know if she's breathing out. Secure the scene. She looks like a 22. She looks like she's been down for a while. There's blood all over the place. There's a knife by her head and stuff like that, and there's a huge pool of blood. No, I think she just walked in on it. There's a broken window in the back, so if you can just put up some crime scene tape. As soon as AFD gets here, they're going to pronounce her, I'm sure.
It turns out Brenda wasn't just stabbed. She was also struck on the head with an iron skillet. Her injuries are so severe that her life is hanging by a thread.
Stop! Hold on, we gotta figure out what's going on. Come on.
Is she gonna be okay?
Come on. Come on. You just need to cooperate with me, all right?
I want my dad.
Huh?
I want my dad.
What happened? What's going on? What's going on?
We heard a bang. We heard a bang. And she told me to get out. And then I heard screaming. So I came back and she was on the ground.
Okay, you heard a
I ran
bang.
out back. There was a bang. Someone broke in.
What is your name?
Sydney.
Are you cut?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're cut somewhere.
I don't think so.
Yeah, your hand.
No, I was helping her. I grabbed her.
All right, stop.
I grabbed the knife.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know. We just
I'm
got
the dad. I'm the dad.
Okay,
Sydney.
what's-
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sydney also appears to have been injured. She is in shock and struggling to stay composed. Even the arrival of her father, Steve Powell, doesn't calm her. The police need to secure the crime scene and determine exactly what has occurred.
The back window's broken in!
So you're gonna have to
Daddy!
inside there. So
I don't know! There
go
was
check
so much
this lady in the
blood!
house. Okay. She's got minor cuts.
However, Sydney claims that the intruder entered through a window that had been broken before the attack, which is the first of many inconsistencies in her story.
Interesting.
Somewhere that's not you.
Okay, do we know who, where, which way?
I bet it's the younger guy. I'm looking through here and I can see pictures. And there's a whole basement set up for what looks
Yep. Hey, sorry, I'll call you right back. Bye. All right, let me go report that.
Yeah, there's guys in the mail. It's probably her brother. She's somebody.
Well, I'll see if we can find out who else lives here.
At this moment, the only person making any sense is Sydney's father.
Okay. Do you live here, sir?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my wife and there's my daughter.
The hell is your daughter?
She'll be 20 in March. She's 19 today. Is she coming out?
Not yet. So just can't hang out. Sydney, can you tell me what happened? Huh? Sydney.
On its way?
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, that's him right there.
I have a female here.
While investigating, police interview Steve Powell and one of Sydney's friends, hoping to uncover what happened. Steve, unaware that Sydney is the attacker and that his wife is critically injured, will soon face devastating news from the detectives.
Where'd you get a call from? Yeah, got a call from you. Call from me. Oh, okay.
He said there was a call, went out, a distress call from the University of Mount Union where my daughter was going, and said, female in distress. I said, well, that's funny because Brenda's there, my wife. So I called Brenda, and it rings and rings on the cell phone, no answer. I call Sydney back, rings and rings and rings, no answer. I call Brenda back, ring, no answer. I'm pacing around. I call Chief back, and as I'm on the phone with him, telling him there's no answer, my daughter calls me back. He said, oh, Mom's on the phone with Mount Union. I said, well, cops are on the way. And she went, there's been a break-in, and she just started going off. She said, well, there's been somebody broke into the house. There's blood everywhere. She was hysterical and crying.
So at first, when you talked to her, she said your wife was on the air.
Yes. And as soon as I said, cops are on the way, the hysterics started.
Is she still attending?
Well, as far as we knew up until today, yes, but apparently not for the last, I don't know, maybe couple weeks.
What Sydney hadn't told her parents was that she had been expelled from college weeks earlier and had been lying to them ever since. However, she did confide in her friends, including Lauren, who lived in the same dorm.
Now, we understand that Sydney was your roommate at Mount Union?
Yes, she was for last year and then this year until she left.
And so you've been friends ever since your freshman year at St. B?
Mm-hmm.
Go over each other's houses, everything like that?
Yep. Well, she started off in exercise science freshman year, her first semester. But then she didn't like the classes, so she switched over to psychology and sociology. But then she didn't really like that, so this year she switched to education, and then she didn't like that either, and that's one of the reasons she left, is because she really couldn't find what she liked. I think she struggled in her classes. I don't think her grades were the best, but she didn't really tell me that, because I wasn't really struggling. I think she kept a lot of stuff hidden, because when we were just talking or with our friends, she always seemed happy. Like, she seemed okay, like I said, I couldn't tell until the end where she was kind of just like struggling, and she kind of was sad and just like, Lauren, I don't know what to do. I think she felt like everybody around her kind of had figured out what they wanted to do. And well, I know she's had anxiety for a while, but I think it was this last semester, like starting coming back in January, is when it really started, that she was kind of more like upset because she really didn't know what she wanted to do. My friends and I were worried for her because we didn't know what was going on because she didn't tell us, and then
Lauren knew something was wrong and tried to help. At first, she had no reason to doubt her and was as supportive as any friend could have been at a time like this. But even Lauren grew suspicious of Sydney's evasive behavior.
I could tell she was getting more upset and more sad. And I told her, I was like, I'm here, like, you can tell me, I'm here for you. If you need anything, I'm here. But she never really opened up until she was leaving and saying that she was struggling with school and that she was kind of trying to figure out what was going on, and that's when I started to try to help her.
Let's talk about this. You're her best friend, and I know this is difficult, but tell us about her relationship with her parents.
Her and her parents had a really good relationship. Like, her mom and her were best friends. Probably, like, they did everything together. Like, one of the reasons she went home was to be with her mom. They were always close. She never said anything bad about her mom. She never ever talked about having an argument with her mom. Like, I can't recall every time she'd be going home, she's like, I can't wait to see my mom. Or when she goes home for weekends, she'd be like, oh, my mom wants me to come home so we can hang out and like watch movies. And she loved being home.
What's going on? Are you not going to school? She goes, I'm overwhelmed in school and I don't really like what I'm doing, and it seems like it's a waste of my time and your money. I said, well, but that's all part of it. Nobody's going to tell you you need to do what you're doing when you're 20. You need to figure it out.
So when she's talking to you about, the problems she's having at school, did she mention that she tried talking to her parents?
Yeah, I know she definitely, especially when she left, she talked to her mom about leaving. They kind of made that decision together to leave Mount. Like, she talked.
Lauren's suspicions were confirmed. Sydney had been deceiving her friends. Simultaneously, she was also misleading her parents, who were unaware of her college issues until they received a call from Sydney's professor. Stephen and Brenda initiated crisis discussions to understand their daughter's situation.
So I went back, I called my wife on my daughter's phone. She picks up, she was working down at Children's. And she goes, what's wrong? And I basically told her, I said, Sydney, I think the reason we can't get on is because she's unenrolled. She hasn't been going to school.
Sydney became entangled in 2 layers of deception, one for her friends and another for her parents. She believed her parents wouldn't understand and couldn't bring herself to reveal she had been dismissed from college, despite knowing they would support her through tough times like failing grades.
Yeah, we asked what she was doing and she said she was good. She acted like what we would see as normal. She was laughing, she was having fun. She said she got jobs because she worked at the Akron Rubber Ducks. She's worked there for a couple seasons, so she was gonna go back there. And then she also said she was looking for another job and everything was good and she was trying to figure out for next year and all this stuff, and she was gonna talk to her parents about housing, trying to come back to Mount.
Once she got to Mount Union, or anytime actually, did Sydney ever drink alcohol at all, or she did? Okay, just kind of describe that for us.
She liked to drink. There was an incident in the fall of our freshman year where she drank too much and she wasn't alcohol poisoned, but she did end up in the hospital. Her mom came and got her at 2 in the morning. Usually after that, her and I were together, and if she did drink, I usually kind of slowed her down after.
Detectives suspect Sydney lost control when Brenda was talking to her college professor and tried to silence her mother forever to cover up her lies. Sydney claims she doesn't remember anything, but it appears she made critical and careless errors. Now, it's up to the detectives to piece together the clues.
Were you able to go in the house at all?
I made it in far enough to see the back fit. When you go into the front door, you come around the kitchen, you go in, you can see there's like a pass-through between the kitchen and the family room. The back of the house, I could see the right hand, there's 2 big sliding windows. I could see that window was clearly, it looked like it was busted. Went down the hallway probably about 2 feet, just enough to see blood all the way down the hallway.
Tragically, Brenda did not survive and succumbed to her injuries in the hospital. The county medical examiner determined her cause of death as blunt force trauma to the head and stab wounds to the neck, ruling it a homicide.
Not really bad news. Your wife passed away.
Detectives looked into Sydney's claim about an intruder, but found discrepancies with her account. The evidence pointed to a different scenario entirely. This led detectives to the heartbreaking duty of informing Steve that his daughter was responsible for his wife's death.
What happened? I don't think someone broke into the house. I don't know if your wife and daughter got into an argument, got physical. I mean, the window was broken, but there's no force entry into the house. Did your wife and daughter ever have new heat? No. Arguments? No. This is not possible. Your son's outside. He doesn't like it.
My son's here?
Yes.
Would you like one of us to just go be with your son?
I don't know.
Take your time. There's no rush for me.
The turmoil Steve must be experiencing right now is beyond comprehension. His wife killed, and his daughter as the prime suspect. Eventually, Steve acknowledges that the detectives might be correct, and now he must break the news to his son.
He did this. I lost 2. She's going to jail forever. Wife's dead.
They're going to do everything they can to make sure that they find out exactly what happened. Nothing's definite as of yet. They still have to do their investigating.
Where's Andrew? He just sit out there by himself, or is he with?
Family, they're supposed to be.
Well, yeah, I don't want anybody in here with me. I don't want anybody. I just want me and him. I said, I don't know if that's legal. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't want any of us?
I don't want any of you. No, I just want Andrew.
So you come and get us when you're ready, okay?
They don't know. They haven't told me. They're investigating.
Sydney was arrested and charged with murdering Brenda Powell. Initially claiming insanity due to memory loss, she couldn't recall hitting Brenda with a cast iron skillet or fatally stabbing her. The jury rejected her defense, finding Sydney guilty on multiple charges, including murder and assault. She received a life sentence with eligibility for parole after 15 years.